Did you know that designing a beautiful garden has very little to do with the individual plants and flowers that you choose? I know it sounds crazy because we're so used to hearing about the next new and perfect plant, the one that blooms for 10 years straight, never gets a disease, that grows with no sun and any kind of soil. It's easy to believe that a list of perfect plants is the solution to your gardening struggles. But while plants are important, they aren't the real problem. So today, I want to reveal 3 gardening secrets that will help you to overcome the biggest gardening challenges that you're having. My name is Amy, and I'm a professional designer and obviously a garden lover. I've helped hundreds of home gardeners just like you to demystify color and design so that they can create their dream landscapes. What I'm about to share with you is going to revolutionize the way that you choose plants and design your garden. So, what's my big secret? It's my garden design framework. This is my step-by-step formula to design a professional-looking, gorgeous garden in a way that still allows you to be flexible and creative with your plant choices. So you can still add to your garden over time and enjoy making your beds come to life for years into the future. So I want to share the 3 biggest mistakes that I see home gardeners make that prevent them from creating their dream garden, and then how my garden design framework solves these problems for you. Pretty cool, right? I already know that you're probably thinking that gardening always looks so easy on the internet and that this actually won't work in real life. But trust me, these secrets are going to help you to better understand how your plants work together so that you can unlock your garden's potential, even if you have less than ideal conditions. And by that, I usually mean crappy conditions. My first secret is that garden centers are actually setting you up to fail. You see, garden centers only have a certain amount of space to sell flowers and shrubs. So they actually put out new varieties of plants every single week so that their stock is always in bloom. And because most gardeners don't understand what I call bloom sequencing, they head to the garden center frenzied with spring fever, buying all the plants in one trip. But if you do this, 2 weeks later, the blooms are going to fade and you're going to be left wondering what you did wrong and what the heck happened to all your beautiful flowers. In reality, the garden center just kind of screwed you. But once you understand bloom sequencing and how to find those off-season blooming plants, you can create a garden with endless color in all 4 seasons. The second secret is that creativity has nothing to do with designing your dream garden. The main thing to understand here is that gardening is part art and part science. So people who aren't creative, they can't seem to get things right, even though they know tons of stuff about plants, because they can't put it together in a creative way, right? And there's also people who are super creative and they also can't seem to get things right because they have a million awesome ideas, but they don't realize that they need a lot more plant knowledge than they actually have. So the myth is that you always hear this, that creativity is the solution to a beautiful garden design. But the truth is that creativity doesn't matter all that much because once you know the exact steps to take, it's pretty easy to make your dream garden a reality. I like to think about it like this. Instead of trying to create a masterpiece from scratch from a blank canvas, your garden is a little bit more like a paint by number. It's really just about creating a plan and then following that plan, which is totally doable, right? The third secret is that even if your garden has less than ideal conditions, there are ways to unlock its hidden potential. It's not doomed. I hear all the time from people, they say, I don't have a green thumb, or that nothing is going to grow in this terrible soil and it's just a useless space, or insert any other problem here. I hear every single one of them all the time. I hate to break it to you that there's no magic thumb color that actually makes you good or bad at gardening. And no matter what your conditions are, there are plants that will thrive and grow in them. So even if you live on a craggy mountainside with high gusting winds and terrible soil, there's actually a lot of beautiful plants that will grow in those particular conditions that I just said. See, what's cool is that plants have certain colors and features about them that actually are talking to you. They're telling you what types of conditions that they're suited for. So once you know how to spot these characteristics, you'll be able to put the right plant in the right place. And that, my friend, is the key to successful gardening without going crazy. As an example, you wouldn't put on a heavy sweatshirt and then cover yourself in a rain slicker and then go hang out in the middle of the desert, would you? But a lot of times gardeners will blame their thumb, but really they're the ones that are putting a plant that has a built-in raincoat and rain gear on and sticking it in drought-like conditions and expecting that plant to survive. But that plant doesn't have feet, it can't leave, it can't walk away from those conditions, so you're setting it up to fail. And that's typically the problem that I see rather than some people just have it and some people don't. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is pretty cool, Amy, but it's not going to work for me because I'm brand new to gardening, or I've been gardening for years. The super weird thing about it is that these two different skill levels actually struggle with the exact same thing that I teach, except for way different reasons than you're thinking. So first, for the complete beginners, most beginner gardeners, you're just plopping random plants in the ground, you're hoping for the best, you're following blind intuition as your guide. And sometimes this works, but it's usually by accident, and then you can't quite figure out what you did to replicate those results again and again. And ask me how I know, because honestly, I spent 6 years in this like circle of deep dark hell trying to crack the code myself, and I was unsuccessful for quite a long time. So I totally feel you there. But second, there are gardeners who I like to say they know enough to be dangerous, and you know who you are if I'm talking to you right now. These are the gardeners that you're trying your best to learn how to do gardening right. So you're absorbing everything that you see on the internet, reading every article, buying every book about gardening, constantly trying new things and asking questions, and all of the things that you do when you love something. You just like absorb yourself into it. And that's probably even why you're watching this video right now. But the problem that I found with this, because I was here too in a different point in my journey, you start to get all this jumbled mess of information. And the internet can do that to you because people are sharing tidbits and bits and pieces and this and that. They're not actually sharing a step-by-step full process of how to do gardening. And a lot of them start conflicting. And then you're like, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. I don't have a clear path forward. This one's saying this is saying this one's doing this. Like, I don't know what to do. And usually what happens is that you end up more confused than you were when you started. And you end up with this crazy analysis paralysis. And you don't have a clear path to move forward. So you're just sort of stranded here, and you're not a beginner, but you can't get it right either. Does that sound familiar to any of you? So both of these struggles are very, very real. And I know this because I used to be both of these people, but don't worry, it wasn't at the same time or anything. The good news is that my framework works for both scenarios. Yet no one is teaching it. Until now, there's never really been a step-by-step framework for designing a garden bed. That's because if you have a framework to follow, you don't need to buy new plants to replace all the ones that you're killing. And if you have a framework, you don't need to hire a garden designer to professionally design your landscape either. And look, it's not like I want to take business away from nurseries or landscape designers. It's not that at all. It's just that I've noticed that they're not really solving the problem that I personally had, which was that I want my space to be unique and curated, and I want it to have like my energy and my personality in it. It's like a dream in your head and you want to get it out, and buying more plants and hiring more people doesn't really do it for you. You know what I mean? So that's why I created this Design Your 4-Season Garden course. And in the course, you'll learn my step-by-step framework that I use to design a garden that looks great in all 4 seasons. And we'll do it together. It can be a fun experience and not like hate writhing pain trying to figure it out all by yourself. You don't have to do it alone. And I, as a garden designer who's helped hundreds of home gardeners to demystify color and design and get their dream landscape, have a mission. And that is to share this framework far and wide so that any home gardener who wants a landscape that is uniquely you has the tools they need to make their dreams a reality. It's that simple. You'll never have to wonder again if the plant you just bought at the garden center is going to work when you get home. You won't have to worry about that. Or you won't have to worry about where the heck you're going to put the plant when you get home, because I've been there too. The stuff is going to naturally fall into place for you. And instead of spending your weekends and your money trying to keep all these plants alive, you're just going to have this unique, curated, beautiful space that you can enjoy and relax in and garden just because you want to garden, not because you have to try to figure out what you did wrong this time. And it'll perfectly fit your personality and suit your lifestyle because you designed it. It's so rewarding when you invest your heart and soul into your garden, and then you get to see it grow right in front of your eyes. Am I right? So if you want to enroll in the Design Your 4-Season Garden course, all you have to do is click the link to purchase now, and then you can join my community of gardeners who are already getting the results that they've always wanted in their gardens. So if you sign up now, you'll get tons of extras like my course workbook, garden planning worksheets to put your thoughts on paper, 27 pre-made garden bed layout you can use and plunk in your plants. I have a Plant ID Made Easy guide that's going to help you with the rain jacket situation thing. and then access to my private Facebook group where you can ask questions and you can meet other gardeners that love to garden just as much as you do, make some new friends. And if you act now, you're also going to get, as an extra bonus, my very own personal plant database that I use to design my four season garden and gardens for other people. It's also organized by color because I'm a crazy person, and you'll see why this is organized in color when you get into my course. But it contains hundreds of long blooming, four season, tried and true plants that I love that you can try in your very own garden. And I can't wait to see you in there. I'll see you soon. Bye.